Today, we are moving on to a new task, a new skill in math, and we are going to be working on comparing numbers. Okay, so comparing numbers. You have compared numbers before in first and second grade. Now we're going to compare numbers up to the 10,000s place. In the past, you had been comparing 3-digit numbers. We're going to move on to that 4th and 5th digit. Okay, so up to 10,000 is what we are going to compare. You will have a video lesson from me today, and that's what all 3rd grade is working on. And it's going to introduce the skill of comparing numbers. Okay, during this video, there will be some moments that we pause and have conversations about the questions that are asked. So make sure you're ready to engage in that conversation. Okay, alrighty, here we go. Getting faster, ladies and gentlemen, slowly but surely. Here we go. Got to make sure I shared my computer sound.
Standard today. I'd like you to take a look at our goal, which appears here. Compare two whole numbers up to 10,000 using greater than, equal to, and less than symbols. We have some academic vocabulary down here that has been very helpful to us so far in our number sense and is going to continue to be helpful for us as we reach this new target. These words are place value, 10,000s, thousands, hundreds, compare, equivalent, less than, greater than, and symbol. Now, the top 5 words should be fairly familiar to us. It's these bottom 4 that may be new to us, and we're going to talk about the meanings of these new vocabulary words today. This is our overarching goal for our entire unit, to compare two whole numbers up to 10,000 using these icons or symbols that you see here. What does it mean to compare numbers? We're going to have you watch a video today, and we'd like for you to be prepared to have this discussion about this question. Use the vocabulary on the right in your discussion. We should hear words like compare, greater than, less than, symbol, place value, and digit. Listen for those words in this video.
Let's see. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stickers. You've got a lot of stickers, Moby. You definitely have more than me. How can you compare numbers? It's the perfect day to go apple picking, right, Moby? I've picked 7 apples so far. How about you? So you've picked 5, and I picked 7. On a number line, 7 comes after 5. That means 7 is greater than 5. So I picked more apples than you. How many apples do you have now, Moby? You picked 13 apples? The number 13 comes after 7 on a 100 chart. That means 13 is greater than 7. It also means that 7 is less than 13. So now you have more apples, Moby. How do you compare bigger numbers? Mia picked 20 apples. Who has more, you or Mia? When you compare bigger numbers, you should compare the numbers in the highest place value first. You have 1 10 and 3 ones, but Mia has 2 10s and 0 ones. So Mia picked more apples than you. 324 apples. The farmer has 389 apples. We need to look at the largest place value first. Since you both have 300s, we need to compare the numbers in the tens place next. You have 2 tens, but the farmer has 8 tens. So the farmer has more apples than you. I don't think there are any apples left. How do you use symbols to compare numbers? There are plenty of pumpkins to pick. You can write a number sentence to compare numbers. Cool, you picked 16 pumpkins. That's more than Grandpa. This is the greater than sign. In a number sentence, the wider part faces the bigger number. 16 is greater than 10. This is the less than sign. In a number sentence, the corner points to the smaller number. So we say 10 is less than 16. Don't worry, you can make a picture in your mind to help remember the signs. I like to think of the symbol as an alligator. The alligator is hungry, so it always eats the bigger number. Mia has 6 pumpkins, and she's adding them to Grandpa's basket. That means Grandpa and Mia have 16 pumpkins. That's the same number as you, Moby. This is the equal sign. Both baskets have an equal number of pumpkins. The symbol shows that both sides of the equation equal the same amount. Anyway, Moby, I think I finally collected more stickers than you. Hey!
We can see here that we have some visual representations of the comparison symbol. As the video showed, it's easy to remember the comparison symbols as alligators that want to eat the larger portion. So here we see that 23 is a greater number than 14. So our alligator is attempting to eat 23 items instead of 14. We see the same with this 2-digit number and this 3-digit number. 3-digit numbers are automatically larger than 2-digit numbers because they have a higher place value. So we see the alligator turning toward the 3-digit number. The same can be said of the bottom. We look at the first place value digit, which is the thousands. There's a 2 here. There's a 1 in this number. 2,000 is greater than 1,000, so we see our alligator turn toward the 2,000. Another way to remember this is that it's the same symbol, it's simply turned a different direction. When we see the lesser side or the smaller side first, we read this as less than. When we come across the greater side or the larger side first, we read this as greater than. There are 2 visual representations to help you remember this symbol.
All right, I'm coming back to you. I told you to be ready to have those conversations. Your first conversation for your breakout room today is, what does it mean to compare numbers? Okay, what does it mean to compare numbers? I want you to think about that as I'm setting up your rooms. What does it mean to compare numbers? Give me a moment to move a few around here. Alrighty, what does it mean to compare numbers? And here you go. Okay, I want to hear from you, and bonus points for people who are utilizing that academic vocabulary. What does it mean to compare numbers? What does it mean to compare numbers? Aiden L., I see your hand is up. What does it mean to compare numbers?
It means when one number is bigger and one number is less.
Okay, usually when we're comparing, that is true. One of them is bigger and one of them is smaller, or greater and lesser. Thank you, sir. Fantastic. Aiden G.
I was going to say the same thing, but Aiden L said it.
So you agree. Fantastic. It probably means we're heading toward the right train of thinking.
and Margaret didn't even talk, so I don't even know.
Where did she go? Oh, no. Okay, well, we lost her. All right, let's see. Mr. Sin-Q, how about you? What does it mean to compare numbers?
You can compare numbers by, if you have the same number as the other person, you can, if you made a mistake on one, you can compare the two numbers if you have the wrong number.
Oh, so you're talking about solving equations. Yeah, that is one meaning of compare, is when we look at each other's work to see if we agree. When we're talking about comparing numbers, it's talking specifically about, like you started to say, sometimes they're the same. That's another way we can compare, is recognizing that they're equivalent. So this isn't necessarily looking at others' work to see if we're the same, but it's looking at two numbers, whole numbers, and determining, are they equivalent or the same, or is one greater or lesser? Okay, awesome. All right, let's go ahead and continue on with that lesson. We're doing such a great job with this conversation. Here we go.
Because I'm all by myself and this requires some conversation. So this is Bobbert the rhinoceros and he's going to help me. The question, Bobbert, is which side is greater? This side or that side? Bobbert says that side. Maybe you're like me and you're not really believing that, because look at that side. There's only one thing. Look, Bobbert, one. Look over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 different things. But that reminds me that the number of items doesn't matter. It's the value that they have. So if we were to look at this cube, there would be 1,000 ones in here. See all those tiny squares? Those are all individual ones. So this is worth 1,000. This is only 100. So this is 100, 110, 120, 130, 131, 132. So Bobbert was right. 1,000 is greater than 132. The way this is displayed, we see the lesser than sign first, so we would say 132 is less than 1,000. On this side, we have 2,000s, 300s, 2 tens, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is 2,327. That side has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 hundreds. But wait, I could stop counting right there, because even though this has more hundreds, it does not have any thousands cube like this side has. That side is only a 3-digit number, 924. This side is 2,327, making it a 4-digit number. So I automatically know that 2,327 is greater than 924 because it has an extra digit, making it a thousands number, while that side is only a hundreds number. Let's try one more. What happens, Bobbert, when both numbers have the same amount of digits and the first digit is the same? This is 4,000 and this is 4,000. So what would I look at next? I would look at the hundreds. This number has 6 of them. That number has 4 of them. 6 is greater, larger, bigger than 4. So 4,671 is greater than 4,451 because the hundreds place has a higher value on this side. So you are going to complete a task today. That task is on Seesaw, and your teacher will be happy to go over those directions with you.
Okay, today is just an overview of comparing numbers. What questions are there about how to compare numbers or about the symbols that we use? What questions are there? Yes, Levin.
What What did you say? I didn't hear you because Aiden and I was making noises.
Sure. I'm asking right now, are there any questions about how to compare numbers or what the symbols mean? Anything we don't understand that we want to clarify? Okay. Terrence.
So, are we going to be doing a seesaw assignment about this?
You will, yes. I'm just making sure we understand the skill first. Are there any questions about the skill?
No.
All right. Aiden Leachman.
It's almost time for lunch.
That's not a question about the skill. Any questions about the skill? All right. I'm going to move on then to look at our task for the day. So on Seesaw, a task has been released to you in your activities called Comparing Numbers with Place Value Blocks. You will have this video that we just watched right here if you feel that you need more help as you're working. As always, you'll click on Add Response, and then you'll follow these directions. I'm going to read these directions as I'm working because sometimes it's hard for me to remember all 8 things at once. So I clicked Add Response. It says use the drag tool to drag the number labels to the correct place value block model. Okay, so I see place value block models. There's a number here, there's a number here. These red tiles can be moved all around the board. I see that there are some blank boxes that say this number is, so I will read this number and choose one of the number tiles to place in that box. I also see that there are some comparison symbols here. These can both be moved as well. I will take the correct one and place it inside of this square. It says then determine which symbol belongs in the blue circle. We talked about that. One of the symbols will not be used. There is only one circle. There are 2 symbols. So one of them will stay down here, and that's okay. Step 5, fill in the sentence frame using the remaining number labels and comparison words. One of the comparison words will not be used. So my sentence frame says blank is blank than blank. So I'm going to take the numbers. There's the reason that there are 2 of them is because one of them goes up here and then the others will go down here. And I have comparison words, greater and less. My directions told me that one of them will not be used because I'm going to choose which is greater or less. It says use the label or pencil tool to explain how you know your answers are correct. Remember to use academic vocabulary in your explanation. You have that academic vocabulary in this video. Use the microphone tool to record yourself reading your sentence frame. Click the check to turn in your work. If this is too much to read, remember you can always click play instructions and it will read the directions out loud to you. So there are 8 things that I need to do before I am done. I want to quickly remind you that not every tile will be used, and that is okay. All right, there's only one circle, so only one of these will be used. One of them will not. All right, this is your math task for the day. When you finish this math task, you will go on to Prodigy to work on your placement test. So there are still quite a few friends who have not finished their placement test, and that needs to be complete. This is your first priority, okay? What questions can I answer about the task that you're getting ready to complete? I only want questions about the task. Yes, Aiden, no.
What do we do at the bottom of the thingy, at the
Great.
list?
Got it. Let me show you. So at the bottom here, it says blank is blank than because. So for example, I might put a number here. So just so I don't give away any answers, let's go ahead and play with this here. Let's say that I was given the number 584 I would say 584 is blank than, let's say my other number was 1,492. Okay, so I would be choosing which word would go in that blank. So I would say 584 is less than 1,492 because now I'm going to type a response because 584 only has 3 digits and 4-digit numbers have a higher value. So I'm explaining why I know that my answer is correct. So I'm going to move this down here and then I'm going to stretch it so that it fits on that line. Okay, so down here you're using these numbers right here to complete the number sentence with a comparison word, less or greater, whichever is true, and you're putting down an explanation or a reason that you know your work is correct. Okay? Does that answer your question, Aidanelle?
I told you.
Do we put the numbers under the thing?
Yes, under the box. So you'll move the numbers twice. One will be in the box to label the number, and then the numbers will appear again in your number sentence that you're creating to explain which is greater and lesser. Okay? Thank you. Thank you for clarifying, Aidanelle. Very responsible.
What if you don't finish in time?
Then you will still have that afternoon time to work during our 12:40 time for STEM this afternoon. Okay. I want to make sure there aren't any other questions before I go over our dismissal directions. Any other questions?
I don't know what to do at the bottom because I'm doing the assignment right now, but I don't know what to do at the bottom.
The bottom, you're completing a sentence by dragging in the correct numbers for the greater than, less than statement. And then you are also explaining how you know your work is correct. So how do you know that one of the numbers is larger or smaller than the other?
Okay.
Okay. All right. I think that's all the questions about the task. So let's go over our expectations for the rest of the afternoon. You right now have 17 minutes until lunch. So you have 17 minutes to work on this task until you go to lunch. If you don't finish, that's okay. You still have your afternoon STEM time to finish up. If you do finish, you need to get onto Prodigy and work on completing your placement test so that I have some math data on your current skills that you understand, okay? We are going to not have our afternoon Zoom time for class, but I will be online to help you if you need it. So at 12:40, I am not teaching anything, but I will be logged in if you need my help with an assignment, okay? At 2:20, you are going to come back for the end of day announcements.